look back at it,
Yeah, they are blue.
the remaining
Yeah, but you're letting her share it.
my generation.
And where did you grow up?
I grew up in Manhattan, on the Lower East Side.
Uh-huh.
It was like a ghetto, you know.
Do you remember the address? Or the street?
Street, I remember.
Which street was it?
It was Rutgers Place.
Uh-huh.
They probably thrown those buildings down
Mm-hmm.
and put up a lot of co-ops, whatever they had.
Well, the Lower East Side is very trendy now.
What?
It's very trendy now,
Yeah,
the Lower East Side.
that's right.
And were all 7 kids at home at the same time?
The what?
Were all 7 kids at home at the same time?
Well, no, the kids were 4 years apart.
Uh-huh.
So while I was 4 years old, my younger sisters were just born.
Mm-hmm.
My older sisters were married already.
Was everybody 4 years apart?
Almost everybody,
Yeah.
yeah. The second girl was 2 years apart.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, they were 4 years.
Mm-hmm. And were your parents from New York?
Yes, they were from Russia
Uh-huh.
and moved to New York before the turn of the century.
They were the first generation to come over?
Yeah.
What?
I think my father came over about 1898 or something like that. And she met my mother in New York. They were married, you know.
Were they from the same kind of place in Russia?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they met in New York?
There's rumors, romantic stories about he was in they call the Bundists, who fought against the Russian pogroms that they had.
Uh-huh.
And he escaped through the mountains, through the forests, and ended up near Poland. And my mother at the time was supposed to be a nurse taking care of the refugees.
Uh-huh.
So they met each other for a couple of days. Then she and her family went to Hamburg.
Mm-hmm.
And she was on a ship that went into New York. And he went in through England from Hamburg, England, and then Canada.
And then what did they do when they got to New York?
Well, they met at a local party, a picnic party, that the Working Circle group had organized.
Uh-huh.
And they met at this picnic, supposedly. And they got married soon after.
And what did your father do for work?
Well, he did everything. He was first he was a clothes worker.
Uh-huh.
Then he opened his own store. And first I've seen, he was making picture frames for the union certificates when I was about 5. Because the other boys were older and the two other girls were older. And I remember he used this foot pedal angle cutter with, let's say, 15-foot molding.
Mm-hmm.
He would cut a V in the molding and it'd be the corners.
So he was like a carpenter?
lot of stuff like that. But it was just a specific job that he had for a couple of years.
Want to join us at the table? Join us at the table?
Yeah, in a minute. I remember he built me a sled, one of these bent wood sleds with handles on the back and stripped stainless steel on the bottom.
Oh, for the skids.
And, you know,
Where would you go sledding?
on the street.
Uh-huh.
And from there, he went into a used furniture place and built it up to a big store with new furniture and bedding, until he would get sick. Every time that we got a decent running business, he got sick. This time he had tuberculosis in those days. It was quite rampant. And he had to go away to Saranac Lake was one place, and Denver was the other place that they sent people.
To Denver?
Yeah, Denver, the high city.
Uh-huh.
And so all they needed was a lot of fresh air,
Yeah.
clean out their lungs. Remember when I was 8 or 9 or 10, I used to carry mattresses on my head, a rolled up mattress.
Uh-huh.
My brothers would carry the beds and the furniture set. So then he had to close that store up because he didn't have anything else. And there was some pretty rough times. There was a time when he was away, and we lived on welfare at the time for a little while. He got back and he got into the fruit store, fruit and vegetables food store. And he ate live fish at that time.
Uh-huh.
He used to buy live fish by the tank full. And in the storefront, there was a window with a built-in tank. And he had live fish for the weekends, you know, Thursday, Friday, through Friday afternoon, and we closed up for the holidays.
What was the name of the store? What was the name of the store?
Just Abe's store. Abe's fish store.
Uh-huh.
Are you done with this milk, whoever took it out? Sorry.
Was he a Smith?
Well, he was Smith when he first came. Because I imagine him.
Hello.
Hi, it's my sister Eden. This is the report.
In England,
Uh-huh.
they must have changed it there. I don't know. They didn't know what the original name was, but they think it was Smillick.
Uh-huh.
My mother's name was Silk. Because her brother came over, he was a tailor, and his name was Silk.
This old house, the shelf.
They all had large families. And
Yeah.
And where did you go to school?
I went to high school up at DeWitt Clinton in New York, up in the Bronx, way up in the Bronx.
Why all the way in the Bronx?
What?
Where did you live up? I mean, had you moved to the Bronx, or did you
No,
commute?
I was in the subway every day,
Anybody seen Tilly?
going from bus to Park Row,
Yeah.
near the municipal building. taking a subway train for another hour up to Marshall Parkway.
Why so far for high school?
Marshall is where the high school was.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's
And
Serena, her mom, my little sister Hannah, her husband.
then I went to work
My little sister Yvette,
during the
her
day
Michael, and Quiz and
as a delivery boy. I was about 17.
right next to Yvette.
And at night I went to school at City College.
Have you had, yes, have you had a long enough
Business
trip that you
school.
didn't hit the head first, because you won't make it out of here probably.
That's all the classes I could get. I wanted to be a scientist like Steve was, but I couldn't pay for any of them. So after going at night for 5 years, I made about 2 years of credit.
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop. Couldn't afford to go anymore. And the GI Bill, I went to college at night. And
This is after the war?
a certificate of business administration. And I got through with that.
We're back at City College?
Yeah, they had an annex where we went at night.
And what years were you? So what years were you in the service?
In the service, before the service, I used to be a ham radio operator.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of hobbies that time. And I was working in one place, and I got a job after we were married in a radio store, radio parts. When I got into service, I wanted to go in the Navy because I knew in the Navy I could get some consideration for my radio experience. Sure enough, they gave me a year's training in radio and radar. I was lucky, yes. I got through
Oh, yeah, totally.
after 1 year, went to Hawaii for distribution. Out of 2,000 radio men, they picked me and another guy because we knew the Morse code.
Mm-hmm.
And there were openings on the island at the transmitter station.
Was this when you went to Hawaii? Was this after Pearl Harbor?
Oh, this was 2 years after.
2 years after.
And I spent another year in Hawaii. Had a good job taking care of a radio station, very low frequency,
On which island?
on Hawaii.
On Hawaii? On the Big Island? Oh, on Oahu? Yeah.